Hello. I forgot to mention that today's my birthday, and I was thinking about how things have changed since I was born. I have a real unusual birthing story, I guess you could say, because I only weighed 2 pounds and 2 ounces. So I was what you would call a tiny baby. I was full term. My mother had had a huge baby before me. That was the largest baby born in the hospital where he was born. And then here I come, a year and a half later, and I'm 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So back then, in 1953, every hospital in America did not have incubators. Back then, children usually just did not live. And since I was full term, it had helped my odds. And so they went to the animal husbandry division of Fort McPherson Army Base, which is outside of Atlanta, and they brought back a chicken incubator. And there was this tiny little baby, blue veins showing through her skin, tiniest diapers made, and I looked like I was wearing a blanket. It came up to my neck, being kept alive in a chicken incubator. So when I went home from the hospital, my parents had a whopping bill of $25 for me, where my brother had only been 10. They had to pay $15 rent for the chicken incubator. But the reason I was so tiny, my mother had large babies. There were 3 boys and then me, and all the boys were really big. But during the pregnancy with me, she was living in an army base, well, next to one, and all her friends were other stay-at-home pregnant young moms, and they all sat and drank hot coffee all day and smoked cigarettes, chain smoked. And the days were so different back then that when it came time for my mother to go to the hospital, she always had a carton of cigarettes packed. I remember with my 2 younger brothers seeing a carton of Kent's in her hospital bag, ready to go. And back then, even when I was younger, I do remember hospital beds with built-in ashtrays. That's how, things have changed. Can you imagine a pregnant woman smoking in public now and not being stared at or talked about by her friends and family? Yet my mom sat there in a hospital bed chain smoking, and it was okay. Ignorance was bliss, they thought. But look at how many people like me. I have bad lungs. I've been sickly, I guess you would say, as a child and as an adult. And that's probably from being 2 pounds and being filled with cigarette smoke as I was in utero. So, the children being born today are blessed. At least if their parents are conscientious, they're going to be born with, much better chance of good health throughout their lifetime. Because it doesn't just get better. If you have health issues as a young child, you will continue to have them. And I have to tell you, I've been married to a saint, because my husband has put up with some health things with me that the average person would have turned and walked away from. Every time I've had surgery, the 1 in a million thing that can go wrong has gone wrong, and he's just always been there for me. I've been very blessed. So on my birthday today, I'm very thankful for him and my family, my children, my animals, my friends, my computer friends. I'm thankful for my channel. It's grown to 2,000 people, which is so cool, trying to keep up with everybody and visit them and stay in touch with 2,000 new friends. So everybody enjoy the respite from the heat. I hope your part of the country is cool too. We've been having storms, quite a bit of rain, so it's only in the 80s here. It's been in the 90s every day, real high 90s, so this is a cool wave. I've been feeling sorry for everybody with all the power outages all over the country, especially up in the cities. No breeze, no trees, no shade. It's got to be hell on earth. My daughter recently went 5 days without power, and she lives in the city, and she was miserable. So I know how it is. Well, enjoy your week, and thanks for stopping by. And on your birthday, you might think about maybe something that has changed in your lifetime. Oh, I know there's other things, believe me. When I was born, computers were just, a distant thought. They were more of something that people made fun of than something that you actually thought. I would be sitting here holding 66 years later in my hand a computer the size of a index card that I'm filming on. Isn't it amazing? That reminds me of going to the World's Fair in 1964, I believe it was, in New York, and we saw the Southern Bell South display, and it had the very first phone I ever saw that had a camera. It was a camera phone, and we were all laughing about how you'd have to put on makeup and fix your hair to go on the phone to call people. And my grandfather was a pioneer of America, and he was like, no, it'll never happen. He did not really believe we would ever see phones that had cameras, and was he wrong? He was born in 1900, so he was a little of a different generation that maybe did not have the faith in the inventors that we all have today, because we've seen such wonderful things. At least in my lifetime, I have. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.